In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Kayiodo Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Eren Attack Titan from the anime Attack on Titan. Now, this is a figure I have been waiting for. I've been wanting somebody to do this line, and I am happy that Amazing Yamaguchi is doing it since I am an Amazing Yamaguchi fanboy. Taking the figure out of the packaging, it is, what you would expect from Yamaguchi. You get the little paper, which nobody really cares about. And here is a tray shot looking, pretty good. They kind of do a dissolution effect, making it seem like he has more accessories than he does. He does come with the traditional Revoltech stand. You have the base with multiple holes. You have the arm that can plug into any of those holes. And then you have these two adapter pieces. One is to clamp around the figure, which usually doesn't really hold that well. And the other, you can just plug to put it at an angle. Either way, this stand is one of my favorites. I just personally hate that the arms are very loose. Even after tightening them, they still have a tendency to not be as strong. But other than that, it is a pretty good stand. As for the accessories themselves, you don't get too many. You have the extra swooping hairpiece. You get this clear piece of plastic which is used to move the eyes around. You get an extra wrist peg, and you get a set of 3 extra pairs of hands. You do get a set of wide open kind of style post hands. You do get a set of clenching grabby hands, and you do get these beautiful fisted hands with this nice chrome on it. To interchange the hands, it is quite simple. It's just a friction fit peg. Take it out and then put the hand that you want into that peg. It is a Revoltech joint, so you can configure that joint whichever way you want. As for the extra swooping hairpiece, it is, again, pretty good. No real wash or anything. It is a really rubbery plastic. To interchange the hair pieces, it is quite simple. You just take it off, you then pull down on the faceplate, and then you put the faceplate up into the hair and then put the hairpiece back on. Here's the hairpiece with the head, and again, it does look pretty good, like it's just swooshing in the wind. To move the eyeballs, it is quite simple. You do have this angle piece, and then the other side is a straight piece. I personally recommend the angle piece because you can get up in there, and then you just put it in the hole and you can move it around. It is kind of tricky, but it works. I personally won't be using this function, but I do like that they did include it. So here's the figure itself. It looks pretty good. Overall, the sculpt is what you would expect from Amazing Yamaguchi. Nice wash throughout everything. The sculpt itself looks good. Obviously the shoulders, I know a lot of people don't like those, which I don't mind. I just like the aesthetic. But there is one downside to this figure in my opinion, and that is the head sculpt. The head is just, it pops off way too easily, and that just sucks. Where to go? And the reason being is this is really soft, like, just really malleable, which would be good for moving up, but it just pops it off too much because that peg is rubber, this piece is rubber, and it's just not a secure connection. So there we go. It obviously a hold, but it's not that good in my opinion. That's really the only downside to this figure. Other than that, it is good. The back of the figure, nice sculpt. Look at those. Let's see. Yeah, those are raised. Everything's raised. The back looks good. Peg hole for the stand. It's just really good, that Amazing Yamaguchi aesthetic. It's just that head sculpt sucks. Another thing is that in order to get the Screaming Head, you have to buy the Kayiodo exclusive, or certain websites, when you get them, will come with that head sculpt. I got mine from Ami. Didn't have that option, sadly, and that just kind of sucks. But overall, it's just a really good looking figure, really good base body. I've seen people take the upper torso, and there's the head, I barely tapped it. I've seen people take the upper torso and put like Spider-Man's legs for the Flash to get a shirtless version, and that does look pretty cool. So, there's options to it. It's just that head sculpt is really where I get mad. Now, as for the articulation, the head does move all the way around. Obviously, I'm holding it here, and that's with the neck and everything. So moving up while holding it, pretty good. Which you would think more since it's so rubbery. Down, again, I'm trying trying to hold it so it doesn't come off all the way. Like, god damn, all the way. Pivot. Wish there was more, but, you know, there it is. Again, that head. I'm just gonna pop it off just because it gets in the way. The shoulders are what you expect from, you know, Revoltech. The joints being exposed with that. Ooh, and pops off. I'm gonna leave that in just so you guys can see. So it goes out that much, down not that much. Now if you want the shoulders to look natural, like, you know, this, you're gonna have some holes there, and when you do that, he does like a pose, which kind of sucks. Rotates, and then basically you get kind of a butterfly in there, but then this is also a butterfly. So with that, and then cross arms, you get like everything, which is really freaking cool, and I like that. You also get a thigh swivel, which is pretty cool. Single jointed elbows, but they move in a really good amount. Not as good as I kind of would expect. Wish there was more plastic cut out here, but pretty good nonetheless. Now he does come with an extra wrist peg, so you can obviously interchange it, but you know, the Revoltech joints of those can be configured whichever way you would like. As for the torso articulation, it is a joint up here, ball joint down there, and with that you get all the range. Like, look at that. That is just the torso, and that is absolutely phenomenal. Back, not as much, but still pretty good. Pivot, also really good. Again, this is why I love Amazing Yamaguchi, and is really squeaky. As for the hips, they do move out by themselves a really good amount. I'm just trying to spread them because of the way they do the thigh swivel. It's at an angle, so that can allow you to do some really wacky stuff. But yeah, just using the I guess what would be thighs, you know, pretty good. And obviously moving forward, also really good. You just gotta finagle it. It's a little tight in there. There we go. It is, the crotch is a soft rubbery piece, you know, which is, you know, pretty cool and allows you to do at least 90. As for the knee joint, it is single jointed, but they did carve out a lot in there, and that allows you to go that much. Now, another joint that is also included, which I love, is the calf joint, which is just a Revoltech joint. Look at that. You go forward and back, and with that joint, because without it you get, you know, really good range, but with that joint, all the way. And I love that piece of articulation. I think a lot of more companies should be doing that. You know, it's just a Revoltech joint in there, and that hinges it. As for the feet, those can move up a really good amount, down a pretty good amount, ankle pivot, and toe articulation, which moves all the way back and forth, which is crazy. So overall, this figure's articulation and sculpt is really, really nice. And, you know, to me, to figure, aside from the head, is why I love Amazing Yamaguchi. You know, the only really thing is the elbows, which those would move in a little bit more, but everything else works perfectly. Like, that crunch right there is phenomenal, in my opinion. And that's all just due to the placement of the ball joint there. So I do wish that head was better. This figure would be probably closer to figure of the year, or one of, but can't wait for the rest of the figures in the line. Until then, you know, this is pretty good. Here he is compared to a Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man and a NECA God of War Kratos. Again, he looks pretty good. He does scale a little small because he's an anime figure, then the proportions either way skew him different. I personally like it. That's me. A lot of people probably won't. Here he is compared to an SHF Goku and a McFarlane Batman. Again, smaller than Batman, bigger than Goku. I do again think he fits. I know some people are going to probably complain that he should have been bigger, you know, maybe 8 inches, 7 inches, but I'm content with this. You could put him with like your monster art figures, have him fighting those. But either way, this is going to be on a separate shelf in my collection, so it doesn't really matter. Here he is compared to a Yamaguchi Spider-Man and a Marvel Legends Ant-Man. Now, the Spider-Man is pretty cool. I've seen people take the Flash and the Spider-Man from Yamaguchi, pop the torso off, and then put this one on it. So that way, you get a shirtless Spider-Man, a shirtless Flash. It works pretty good, but, you know, that's not what I'm going to do, but it's cool for pictures. And finally, here he is compared to a McFarlane Toys 7 Deadly Sins, Escanor, and a Animated Heroes 6-pack Sage Mode Naruto. Again, scale's alright. I do kind of want Yamaguchi to do 7 Deadly Sins. It is one of my favorite anime. I know a lot of people hate it, but me personally, I just enjoy it, especially like the first 3 seasons. So I would love to see Yamaguchi do an Escanor, you know, Bond and all that, but I highly doubt it. I don't even think they would sell well. But overall, if you don't include that he is a Titan, this figure does scale decently with these characters. So overall, I do enjoy this figure mainly because I love the anime. As for the price, I did pay around $70 to $80 from Ami Ami. For that price, I do think it's kind of worth it. I do wish it came with more accessories, like that extra head sculpt that it came with from the Kayiodo store, which is stupid to me. The Warhammer Crystal would have been another cool accessory, you know, the one he eats at season 4. Or plainly just some smoke effects that he could have just, you know, poured it onto his arms, his legs. I think that would have been at least better in my opinion. But either way, fuck off.